Call a special meeting of the County Commissioners to order March 25th, 2025. I'd like to welcome everyone. If you would, please join me in a moment of silent prayer followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. We will start off this afternoon with public comments. And before we begin, let me read this so that everyone is aware. Each speaker will speak from the podium and begin their remarks by giving their name and stating whether or not they are residents of the county. Comments will be directed to the full board. Speaker comments are limited to a maximum of 3 minutes during the public comment period. Speakers must be courteous in their language and presentation. Personal attacks will not be tolerated. The Board of Commissioners or the administration will not provide responses during public comment periods or in the same meeting. And to go along with that, we will be holding a strict time limit. The Deputy County Manager, Ms. Melissa Williamson, will be keeping time, and when she rings that bell, I ask that if you are still at the podium that you step away and allow the next speaker to come forward. Also, if the comments get to becoming repetitious or no one has anything new to add to what has already been said, comments will be stopped. Public comment period will end as our guidelines state. I believe I'm correct, Madam Manager, Mr. Attorney. Thank you. All right. First individual to speak.
The first name is Lori Wren.
I would like to defer to Ms. Claggett, please.
All right.
Sequence, just in the order that we're going. My name is Lynn Claggett. I reside in Providence, North Carolina. I would like this statement to be recorded verbatim. North Carolina General Statute 153A-27 clearly states the Board of Commissioners shall consult the County Executive Committee of the appropriate political party before filling a vacancy. February 28th, Commissioner Gwen resigned. You followed this procedure last week with the resulting approval of the Democratic Party's choice of candidate for District 4 seat. He won't be sworn in until April 7th, so there's no urgency. On March 3rd, Commissioner Wren unexpectedly passed away. The Republican Executive Committee is working diligently toward providing you their choice of candidate to fill the seat. You're all in your first term and should be asking which commissioner is pushing the special meeting and what are his motives. Are you truly afraid of someone sitting next to you who will ask questions publicly? There is a bill in the Senate legislature that may affect the nomination process for 42 counties, including Caswell. The consideration of the political party before filling a vacancy will remain the law. One name that is circulated outside the Republican Party belongs to a prior commissioner. This commissioner was chairperson in 2020 and 22. Recall the fiscal year 21 annual budget audit from June 30th, 21 wasn't submitted to the LGC for 2.5 years. On January 22nd, 24, it took a letter from the School of Government to get a response to public inquiry about the status of audits. Even as a sitting commissioner, he lost 73% of Republican votes in the 24 primary. Voters don't want him anymore. Day after the elections, the same commissioner put up a 4x8 sign publicly expressing hate about those who won. You should already have a picture, but if not, one can be provided to you. The commissioner attended the Democratic meeting in 24, but never went to a Republican meeting and now wants to sit in that seat. If someone else is being considered tonight, to thine own self be true. This reflects on you. Bad behavior and losing a recent election is not a qualifier to be appointed by this board. In contrast, respecting the wishes of David Wren's widow and son is traditional and honorable. Where is your moral compass that keeps you from waiting for the Republican Executive Committee's nominee, who is heartily supported by Commissioner Wren's family? Remember the golden rule. Your choices and actions tonight will speak volumes about you and your character and will remain on public record as your legacy. Stand up for what is ethically and legally correct.
Was it May, if you had any further?
Okay. Okay.
Lori Wren,
Can you all hear well on this? Okay. I'm Lori Wren from Castle County, proud to be from this county. 3 weeks ago today, our lives were forever changed. I never dreamed that I would have to stand before the Board of Commissioners today, but within a few days of March 3rd, I was contacted by a very well-known and liked countywide leader who told me that 2 county commissioners sitting in front of me now told this person that they had decided that Brian Totten and Rick McVeigh would be replacing Mrs. Gwynn and my husband. Can you just imagine that punch in the stomach feeling that came over me? I immediately asked someone to contact Senator Berger's office, as the senator had endorsed my husband during the primary. It was suggested that they would work on a change in the wording in the existing legislation, which would prevent what you're trying to do today. While at church yesterday, my mind wandered to the 10 Commandments. Members of the Board of Commissioners that profess to be Christian, so I'm sure you know the word shall. You are not told maybe or do whatever you want. You are told shall. The same holds true for the general statute that instructs Board of Commissioners that they shall take the recommendation of executive boards of political parties when appointing someone to take the place of a deceased or resigned board member. The Executive Committee of the Castle County Republican Party meets this week to give you the name of the person that my family and I feel is best to take David's place on the board. Someone with integrity and the knowledge to continue my husband's legacy. Retired Senior Chief John Clabbett. To nominate anyone other than John would be insulting to me and my family and to the people who elected my husband, David Wren, to a seat on the Castle County Board of Commissioners. In closing, I would like to quote a friend of mine. Remember, whatever you allow them to do to others will eventually be done to you too. Be mindful of what you allow.
John Wren,
Good evening. I'm John Wren. I grew up in Caswell. I'm kind of a resident of Caswell in the Providence area and also Winston-Salem. I spend pretty much half and half. When I'm not at work, I'm either at home or in Caswell. I own land on Shady Grove Road, up here quite a bit. Tonight you called a meeting to discuss an appointment to replace my dad. I got to admit, I think you've got some big shoes to fill, whether you liked him or not. I saw him spend numerous hours of public service. So hopefully his replacement has done numerous hours and numerous things for the county, public service, volunteering, running the Pony Baseball League, standing up for the environment to keep a polluting landfill out of the county. When he was a commissioner, when he said line item budget review, it wasn't a joke. As a kid, the dining room table was covered with the county budget. No joke, line by line, he went through it. Hopefully whoever you appoint has either done that or is willing to do it, because that's what it's going to take to fill the shoes. So he didn't vote for property tax increases. The rumor of the person you may appoint, he has gone along with numerous tax increases. He pretty much ran the county budget into the ground, if that's the rumor is true of who you may appoint. So just keep that in mind. He never voted for tax increases. He cut waste from the county budget without neglecting services. Under McVeigh's leadership, taxes went up, solid waste taxes went up, budget went pretty bad. County is in difficult audit situation right now. Tons of money wasted on audits because of bad management when he was on the board. The voters fired McVeigh when they selected my dad and Mr. Smith to be the at-large Republican candidates. There's a difference between not getting selected for the job, like Mr. Totten, and then versus somebody who was fired from the job. Mr. Totten wanted to do the job. He didn't get picked. It's good now that you've given him the chance. There's a difference between that versus somebody who had the chance and got ran out by the voters. So please keep that in mind too. You businessmen here, if you had an employee that mismanaged your company, got your company in huge financial problems, and you fired them, would you hire them back? I doubt it. So a lot of you I know are concerned about the financial situation in the county. Mr. Rose, I've heard him say it in meetings. He wants the county departments run correctly. Please pick someone who has a history and a record of doing that.
Tommy Goddard.
I live and got my business on Walters Mill Road. Haven't been here but for 3 years. So I'm not going to repeat what other ones said and what I know is coming. Just two easy things. The voters voted for him. Just because you got an R or D beside your name don't mean you're the same people. And we all agree with that. You can be on one side or the other side and still have the same letter next to your name when you're running. So I think somebody who's more like Ren needs to be on the board. Since I've been here, I'm not going to go by what I hear or what I haven't seen or what was done before I was here. But I did see what the sign that he put up. And that's going to put a mark here in the county if y'all put him back in here. Because that's what he's going to be known for right now. Now, 10 years from now, it's a mistake. He grew from it, baby. But this was very recent. And I think that needs to be considered about the sign that people saw and I saw. Not in a picture. I rode by and saw it. Thank you.
Shannon Moretz.
Hey, I'm Shannon Moritz from Cherry Grove, and I'm actually not coming here to ask for anything tonight. I'm not coming in here with any special request, and I'm not coming in here to fuss at anything, which is kind of weird for me. Usually I'm fussing at you guys when I'm standing up here. Today, I'm actually here to offer a little bit of encouragement to you. You guys are currently sitting in seats that are extremely difficult to hold. They take a tremendous amount of effort. They take a tremendous amount of toll on you and your families. And it means a lot to run for office. It means a lot to be willing to serve. And I feel confident that the men on that board will do the right thing for this community and by the people of this community. And I support your decision, whatever that ends up being. And so I want to thank you for your willingness to serve. And I want to thank you for your willingness to stand when you are so frequently being attacked. This job is hard enough as it is. There are plenty of people in this community who know a lot of really good stuff. There's a lot of really smart people here that could probably help you make decisions. But I'm sorry that so much of those conversations get drug out through social media in such a way that doesn't actually resolve anything. And so good luck to you as you make yet another really difficult decision, and thank you for your service.
That's it.
Would anyone else like to speak that failed to sign up? I'll give you this opportunity. All right, public comments are closed. Need approval of the agenda. Motion to approve.
Make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Smith. Second. Second by Commissioner Rose. All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Discussion item. The only item on tonight's agenda is filling the vacant seat of, that was held by Commissioner Wren. And before we do that, if the board would indulge me for just a moment. Few things I think that the public, if they may already know, if they do, that's fine. It'll just be repetition. But for those that may not know, I think it needs to be said. Last Monday night, we had a regular commissioners meeting here in the courtroom. When we finished up our regular session and were about to go into closed session, I asked Mr. Cody Tatum, chairman of the Republican Party, if they had a recommendation or had talked about a recommendation on filling former Commissioner Wren's seat. He said that that the executive committee would hopefully meet this week. And I told him to let me know as soon as possible, and he said he would. At that time, as chair, I was willing to let that process play out as it is in the statutes now. Didn't have a problem with that. We had 60 days, and as long as we didn't bump up against that 60-day deadline, I was willing to let everybody take their sweet time and do what they needed to do. Everything changed on the morning of March the 20th, last Thursday. I received a phone call that would inform me of an amendment to House Bill 58, which had already passed the North Carolina House and was being considered in the Senate, I believe, on that very day. The amendment changed the way that vacancies would be filled on the Castle County Board of Commissioners. As it stands as of today, whatever party an individual belonged to that has vacated that seat, that particular party makes a recommendation to this board. It is non-binding recommendation. The board can say yes, the board can say no, the board can say, let us think about it, but it's non-binding. If this House Bill 58, along with the attached amendment passes, this board will no longer have any say-so whatsoever. It's whichever party recommends will be seated on this board. No ifs, ands, or buts. The effective date of this amendment is March the 3rd, on or after, so we fall into that category now. I am the one that called the special meeting today after consultation with my fellow board members and the county manager. I do not think it's right for anyone to come in and say, we know what's best more so than the citizens of Castle County. Citizens of Castle County do the electing. This board doesn't elect anybody. We have the authority to fill vacancies. We don't have the authority to elect other than our own personal votes on election day. I call this meeting to try to get in front of this legislation because from what I'm being told, it's going back to the House tomorrow and it's more or less a foregone conclusion that it's going to pass. So if the executive committee of the Republican Party meets on Wednesday, all they got to do is come up with a name and we got to accept it. We don't have any say-so whatsoever. I do not believe that's fair to the citizens of this county. I personally don't like to be surprised by stuff, especially if something come out of the legislature. I don't like being backed into a corner, which I felt like was done with this move. We're all adults here. If, this particular legislator, whoever it was, and I don't know, if they want to make a recommendation, they should ask the citizens of the county and the governing body of this county. From my understanding, this came from a representative state legislature, however you want to use the term, that does not even represent Castle County. I don't care who that is. That's not right. You don't have the best interest of heart if you're not representing us, not normally. I'm going to open the floor up to the commissioners in just a moment for nominations to fill this vacant seat. I believe I'm in the right to do this. As the statute reads now, it may be challenged at a later date, whoever this board decides on. If it is, so be it. We'll meet in court. That's what it takes. But before I get to that point, is there anyone here from the executive committee of the Republican Party of Castle County that will make a recommendation to this board to fill that seat?
I'm a member and the executive committee Wednesday. That was followed by the rule, state CCBOC. Have to have 5 to 10 days notice to have this as quick as we can get on the following the state law.
All right.
You're pushing this away. I don't know whether this legislation will pass or not. That's beside the point. We have to consult with the executive committee. One person is not the executive committee. I will let you know if it's not. But right now, we're following the state law.
All right, thank you. All right, any comments, Commissioner Smith?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to say, first of all, that I had a lot of respect for David Wren, and I'm so sorry for his passing. But today, we need to find the best candidate to fill his shoes. Back in November, I was elected at large by the citizens of Castle County to represent them. They trusted me to make good, sound decisions that would help move our county forward. Decisions I make will never be based on getting reelected. We'll decide that in 4 years. But a good commissioner must have the ability to plan, organize, direct, control, and coordinate, as well as get along with the other members of the board. We don't always agree, but we leave here, we can pat each other on the back to say we handle ourselves professionally. And I think that's what we need to continue that as we go with the new members coming on board. I don't feel like it's in the best interest of the citizens to allow a small group of appointed individuals to dictate who fills the vacancies on the board. If this law is passed that Commissioner Yarborough referred to, they encourage the nearly 5,000 Republicans in this county to band together and join the local Republican Party. That way their votes can help determine who future officers are and the direction of the policy. A good, strong policy, a good party yields strong candidates. So that's my belief. Thank you.
Commissioner Rose?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I agree with what Chairman Yarborough stated. Nobody from Raleigh consulted with any member of this board concerning this new legislation. But unfortunately, the politics that is in play today is what's caused this meeting. This proposed change in the statute was made without consulting anyone. And if it passes, this board has no control of vetting potential members to this board. This move and this decision from officials duly elected from the residents of this county to appointed boards with no accountability to the voters. I mean, we were elected and we were elected to represent the citizens of this county. And when they elected, we were elected under these rules. Well, these new rules coming into place with House Bill 58 takes all that away. It basically says, here's the person we want, so be it, that's it. No vetting. You don't know who may be seated. Like I said, we found out on the 20th that this had taken place. And I just wish somebody would have reached out to us, said, hey, this is what we're looking at. But they didn't. If the time had been taken to select a candidate, as much has been put into place to get this legislation through, we may have been at that process by now. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Ingram?
Yes, sir. I just want to say, how did we get to this point? It was just 2 weeks ago that the Democratic Party went through the process, nominated a couple people, had conversation with the precinct chairs before deciding to nominate, or after nomination, they came right to the board and they gave us a nomination. That person now is a county commissioner. However, the thing with this that's burning within me is we were blindsided on this board by what happened with the legislator. I would never have a problem with the recommendation of the Republican Party. And that's for any of you that know me, and there's some of you that don't know me. But that's who I am. I would never had a problem had the process been done the right way. Mr. Chair, that's all I have, sir.
Thank you, Commissioners. Floor is now open for nominations to fill a vacant seat on Castle County Board of Commissioners.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I nominate former Commissioner Rick McVeigh to the board.
I have a nomination from Commissioner Smith for Rick McVeigh. Are there any other nominations?
Mr. Chairman, I will nominate Rick McVeigh for the vacant seat. He was the only other candidate that ran in the race for the at-large seat. Thank you.
Do I have a motion nominations be closed?
So moved.
I have a motion from Commissioner Smith to close nominations. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor of closing nominations, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. Sole nominee we have for the seat is Rick McVeigh. All those in favor, let it be known by raising your right hand. Motion carries unanimously. Mr. McVeigh will take the empty seat of the at-large county commissioner seat. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
I have a motion from Commissioner Rose, second by Commissioner Smith. All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, like sign. We are adjourned.